Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Tiffany. I'm here to let you know that this video is one of a series of videos on this subject. So I was inspired in the middle of the night. I woke up and I had this idea that I could create a decision flow chart for each of the human design energy types and its authority. I want you to know that I'm taking a topic that is very nuanced, that it can be complicated at times, and I'm distilling it into a simple flowchart. Please keep this in mind when you're watching the video for your energy type and your authority. It's nuanced, but it's a great way of just kind of mapping out and just showing you the steps. If we were to slow down our decision-making process and really tune into our strategy and authority, and how those two things work together, the flow chart is going to give you just a very simple, distilled version of how it might look in a very perfect situation. And before I get into the decision flow chart for your energy type and authority, I just want to let you know that you can find me at www.aluxuriousmind.com. I want to let you know that there are multiple ways to work with me there. I have some courses on human design. I just released a course called Unlock Your Money Code, and I have a free library of all kinds of good things that you can check out, and there's no strings attached. I'm not even asking for an email for my stuff in my free library. So if that is of interest to you, go ahead and pop over there as well when you get done with this video. All right, so you are a projector with G center authority. It's also called inner authority. This is also called soundboarding authority. And I think there's another name that's escaping me right now. So we're going to talk about how do you navigate as a projector with G center authority? How do you navigate your strategy and authority together? So waiting for the invitation while also tuning in to your authority and leveraging that intuitive voice to make big decisions. So at the top of the flow chart, you have the invitation. So the invitation is going to come in. And as you know, as a projector, your strategy is to wait for the invitation. Invitations can be literal in the sense that somebody invites you to apply for a job, invites you to join their team. Maybe somebody invites you to an event. Maybe they ask your advice about something. They want to know your advice and what you think about something. Invitations can also be energetic. So it's not necessarily this clear cut. It's more in the vibes of things. Energetic invitations look like a job posting that's already out there on the internet. It can look like somebody following you on social channels, commenting on the things that you're doing on social channels. It can also look like somebody joining up for your newsletter. It can also just be a scenario where you're having a conversation with someone and they're just very interested in you. You can tell that they're interested in what you think about things. You can just tell that they're open. The energy is just right. So when you receive an invitation, the first thing you're going to want to do is, does this thing align with my passions, my interests, my curiosity, my skill sets, my talents? If the answer is no, then obviously you're probably going to want to decide not to do the thing. If the answer is yes, I think this is an alignment for me, then the next thing you want to do is really tune into your body. How do you feel in your body about the thing in question? Like, let's say you're being invited to move across the country and take a new job. How do you feel in your body about this thing? Your initial response, does it make you feel expansive? Does it feel good and free and clear? Do you feel contracted, resistant? Are you kind of hunching up? That's the first thing. Now, because you have soundboarding intuition, what's really important is think about your thoughts in your mind. Think about it as like a ball of yarn. And what you essentially want to do is pull on the string, and you just want to speak out the things so that you can kind of straighten up all that bundle of thoughts that you might have. And as you're speaking about it, you also want to tune in to what words you're saying, what energy you're bringing to that conversation, and how are you saying it? So let me give you an example. As a G center authority person, you are going to want to have a couple of friends, a few trusted friends or family members that you can go to and just be like, hey, I need to talk out this new opportunity that's come my way. And what's going to happen is you're going to speak about it and you're going to be like, well, it's this job and it's in Seattle. And you're going to notice, how are you speaking about it? Are you speaking about it with the energy of excitement, happiness, interest, curiosity? Or are you speaking about it and using words like, I don't know, I'm unsure, this doesn't feel right? How are you expressing this opportunity to the other person? I want to make it really clear that with soundboarding intuition, you are not here to get advice from the other person. Now, they may offer you advice, but I do recommend when you're talking to somebody about and you're making this big decision, you're just using them as a sounding board, just say, hey, I just need somebody to talk out loud to. I'm not necessarily looking for advice. Can I just speak out loud about this for a minute? Now, if they offer you advice, of course, you can pay attention and listen, but ultimately, that's not the goal. The goal is speaking out loud about it. And then how are you speaking about the opportunity in question or the thing in question? If you don't have the opportunity for a soundboard, try audio recording yourself on a voice note and just walking around and just talking about the opportunity. Does this thing feel right to me? And then listen back to yourself. What language are you using? Are you using more negative words? Are you using more positive words? What sort of feeling emotions are coming out? What is the vibe and the energy that's being expressed out of your voice? And the other thing, if you're really desperate and you don't have anybody and maybe you don't want to do the voice recording, you really could just try journaling. Just get a piece of paper and just pull all of the thoughts out of your head, the fears, the desires, the wants, the things about the opportunity, and then read it back and think, okay, am I seeing more of a positive approach to this? I'm seeing positive language about this thing, or there's something about this opportunity that doesn't feel right to me. All right, so you have decided, okay, this thing feels in alignment from like a passions and skill set perspective. You're noting that body response, and then you're going to phone a friend and have a soundboarding conversation with them. Well, what if after all that, you still don't have a clear answer? Next, you are going to pay attention to, is the voice of my mind getting in the way of my intuition? And is it getting in the way of me really being able to tap in to the answer that feels right to me, but I really don't know why? So the voice of your mind is going to be very practical. It's going to be very logical. It's going to be if this, then that. It's going to tell you stories. And so the mind it's actually, once you start really like paying attention to your intuition versus your mind, you can pick up on the difference very quickly. So stories in the mind might be something like, oh, I shouldn't apply for this job because I don't have the credentials. Or I should accept this invitation to go to this event because I feel this social obligation to do it. The word should, if the word should is coming up, that's the voice of the mind. Whereas the intuition is more of a feeling in the body. I just know this thing's right for me or wrong, or it's wrong for me, but it's not really tied to logic, right? The voice of the mind is, I should take this job because it makes more money, or it's going to give me more time freedom, or it's going to give me more recognition. Whereas the intuition is like, this thing just feels right and I don't know why. So in a perfect world, we're really, and again, I know that the world is not perfect and I know we can't always make decisions with our intuition. Believe me, like I have examples in my life of where I've made decisions based on my mind and not my intuition. Sometimes we can't get away from that, but really just in the micro, even if you have to make a different decision with your mind, start tuning into that body response. Have friends that you can soundboard with and really start leaning into that G center, your inner intuition that knows what's energetically correct for you or not and which way you should go. Lean into it in small ways, even if scenarios or circumstances are causing you to have to make a different decision from the mind. All right, so I hope this video was helpful to you. If you have any questions, please let me know.